This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Friday, February 14th, 2025. I'm Mark Mazurek. Buyers waiting for the proverbial thaw in Indiana's housing market may have to wait a little longer. Largely held up by persistently high mortgage rates, data from Indiana's Association of Realtors shows home sales in the Hoosier State increased by only 1% in January compared to a year ago. The stagnant sales numbers come after a spurt of momentum in December when sales saw an 8% bump. In total, just under 4,400 homes closed in January, and the state's median home price rose 6% to $250,000 compared to a year ago. Mark Fisher is the CEO of the Indiana Association of Realtors, and he highlighted some underlying trends he believes are signs of a softening market.
Relative to our wage growth, we've seen strong wage growth, we've seen strong economic growth, and positive net migration. So we should see a strong market for sellers. We see builders that are adding more inventory, so buyers should have more options as well.
Fisher also noted the total number of homes for sale on a given day last month was the most since January of 2020. The vast majority of that increased inventory was for homes over $250,000. Zillow recently listed Indianapolis as number 2 on its projections for the hottest home markets in 2025. Butler University and the NCAA have launched a free online certificate program to educate high school counselors about the NCAA's eligibility process. The program is structured to be a one-stop shop and will include a series of online modules. Butler officials say the NCAA regulations are changing so rapidly that non-specialists are hard-pressed to keep up. The NCAA says there are more than 500,000 student athletes competing in collegiate sports. For more information on the program, visit a high school counselor's tutorial to the NCAA Eligibility Center on the university's website. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
A push to legalize online lottery and casino games won't move forward this legislative session, Indiana House Speaker Todd Huston confirmed on Thursday. House Bill 1431 passed easily out of the House Public Policy Committee earlier this year, but didn't get a hearing in the Ways and Means Committee, which would have taken a closer look at the financial aspects of the proposal. Huston called it a complex bill with, quote, a lot of different moving parts, end quote, and said it would have been hard to reach a consensus on. Representative Ethan Manning authored the bill and estimated the digital lottery and casino games, coupled with sports wagering tax hikes, could bring the state of Indiana more than $300 million annually in new revenue. Some were concerned that online options would cannibalize in-person gaming or lottery sales. The legislation also would have established a new program for responsible gaming and gambling addiction with new fines on casinos to fund it. A recent letter penned by Indiana Governor Mike Braun urged federal officials to, quote, immediately withdraw a controversial plan to log and burn nearly 20,000 acres of the Hoosier National Forest. The Buffalo Springs Restoration Project was proposed by the U.S. Forest Service and seeks to log 5,000 acres and burn a little over 15,000 acres of the National Forest's land in southern Indiana. Although the Forest Service originally estimated a decision on the project would come in January and that work could begin early this year, a final determination is still pending. When proposed in 2021, the project was pitched as a way to improve sustainability of the forest's oak wood ecosystem. The removal of non-native pine trees would also regenerate native hardwood communities and, quote, improve overall forest health and wildlife habitat. But in a letter sent last week to the Forest Service Chief Randy Moore, Braun pointed to increasing pushback from Indiana residents and said the project would threaten the drinking water for more than 100,000 Hoosiers. Reporting from WFIU also shows Braun co-owns a 220-acre property that's 2 miles from the restoration site, which is currently listed for sale at almost $1.7 million. The Capital Improvement Board of Marion County voted Friday to commit up to $70 million for the construction of the Signia by Hilton Hotel at downtown's Pan Am Plaza in Indianapolis after recent bids for portions of the city-owned project came in over budget. The cost of the 37-story hotel is now expected to be about $570 million, a 14% increase from the original maximum price of $501 million the city of Indianapolis anticipated. Ball State economist Mike Hicks is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC. A weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.